Hello everyone, my name is Daly Barrick. I am an agribusiness ag-comm major at Oklahoma State University, and today Robert Toole has provided me with a PowerPoint to better explain the Oklahoma Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Program. Coal mining has been underway in Oklahoma since 1872. The OCC Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Program, also known as AML, has identified 40,000 acres of underground mines and 32,000 acres of surface mines. Like Robert stated earlier, the mission of the Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Program is to protect lives, repair scarred land, and improve the environment. We protect lives by eliminating existing hazards found around abandoned surfaces and underground coal mines. There have been 26 deaths occur on abandoned mine land sites, the most recent occurring in June of 2019. We repair scarred land by performing reclamation practices that return the land as close as possible to its original landscape prior to the mining operation. We improve the environment by implementing best management practices during the reclamation process that will remain intact after the site is returned to the management of the landowner. Land that is eligible for AML funding are surface and underground coal mine sites abandoned prior to August 3, 1977, and that pose a threat to the public's health, safety, and general welfare. The program is 100% federally funded from a tax on active coal mine production. Because the AML program is administered by the Oklahoma Conservation Commission, we work with 16 conservation districts where coal mining occurred prior to August 3, 1977. Additionally, we solicit the public's involvement in helping to identify hazardous AML sites. Private landowners agree to allow reclamation work on their property. For land to be eligible for reclamation, the following conditions must be met. The land must have been mined for coal before August 3, 1977, or if after August 3, 1977, there is no continuing responsibility for reclamation by the coal operator and little or no bond money is available from the state or federal government to accomplish the reclamation. The land was left either unreclaimed or inadequately reclaimed, or the land is in a condition which endangers the health or safety of the public or the quality of the environment, or prevents or damages the beneficial use of the land or water resources. Our AML program is approved for 16 counties in eastern Oklahoma as shown by the map: Newada, Craig, Rogers, Mays, Tulsa, Wagner, Old Mulgee, Muskogee, McIntosh, Haskell, Sequoia, Pittsburgh, Latimer, LaFleur, Cole, and Atoka. Oklahoma's AML program performs reclamation work on private lands only. Multiple hazards to public health and safety are eliminated by the AML program. The most common surface mine hazards are a combination of dangerous high walls and hazardous water bodies. Most strip pits are filled with water that ranges in depth from 12 feet to 30 feet and sometimes greater. Most of the deaths that have occurred on Oklahoma abandoned mine lands have been drownings. Underground mines have their own unique hazards, such as the vertical openings pictured on the left and portals as seen on the right. We've had deaths as a result of entry into one of these openings. Our AML mantra for underground mines is stay out, stay alive. Underground mine subsidence is a critical hazard that requires immediate action. As part of the AML program, the OCC has the authority to declare an emergency when there is imminent threat to health and safety, such as the underground mine subsidence on a school playground. The emergency declaration allows OCC AML to act immediately and undertake remedial measures that eliminate the hazards as quickly as possible. Fee collections that fund the AML program expires in 2021. We are participants in the campaign to reauthorize fee collection. Congressman Mark Wayne Mullen has co-sponsored legislation to extend and increase funding for Oklahoma's AML program. When the critical times come, we will need for every conservation district to engage with Oklahoma's congressional delegation to ensure their full support of AML funding reauthorization. Oklahoma still has over $120 million in unreclaimed AML on inventory. We have many years of AML reclamation work yet to be performed. We need to continue to protect lives, repair scarred land, and improve the environment for the benefit of our great state.
The mission of the Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Program is to protect lives, repair scarred land, and improve the environment. We've had 26 deaths occur on abandoned mine lands in Oklahoma, the most recent being just June of 2019. So we eliminate the hazards that remain and exist as a result of these abandoned mine lands. Hazards such as the dangerous water bodies, as you see from the pits that were left, the hazardous or the dangerous high walls that we've shaped and graded and eliminated, and of course those are the two primary hazards that we've eliminated on this particular site. We've got other sites where we have vertical openings, where we have portals to underground mines and other areas such as that. But that's how we protect lives through our Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Program. We repair scarred land in that this land was left in the condition it was mined in, and then the mining company left the site exactly as it was when they completed all their mining processes. So we smooth and grade the spoil piles. If we need those spoil piles to fill in the hazardous water body and to help shape the dangerous high wall, we'll use it for that as well. And then we'll vegetate the area to give it some vegetation and to provide some beneficial use to the landowner, much more beneficial than the spoil piles and the shrub brush that exist on those spoil piles. One of the considerations that we always have to be very sensitive to are all of the environmental considerations. We have to comply with all of the National Environmental Policy Act requirements, and one of those includes the Endangered Species Act. And in our abandoned mine land reclamation area, the 16 counties along eastern Oklahoma, we have to survey for American burying beetles. And if we do not discover any presence of American burying beetle, we can continue with the project. We have contended that the abandoned mine lands are not suitable habitat for the American burying beetles, but once we complete a project and vegetate it, we actually produce habitat for American burying beetles. And as you can see around us here, the habitat we've created for the American burying beetles is much better than the spoil piles that were here. So we repair that scar land, we improve the environment. Not only do we clean the water that's running off of these sites now as a result of the vegetation that we put on it, but if we need to capture that water and capture the sediment, we can do that as well. But those are the three things that we do in our abandoned mine land reclamation program. This site was, prior to construction and prior to our abandoned mine land reclamation, was just covered with what we call scrub brush, which was immature trees and shrubs of all varieties, simply because that was the only thing through the years that would grow on the shale spoil piles that were remaining after the mining process. There is no organic matter here to speak of, and that is one of the biggest challenges we have in getting vegetative cover on a site. As a result, sometimes we have to use multiple varieties of vegetation just to get a vegetative cover established. Bermuda grass is what we want to get established the best and the most, but depending upon the time and the climatical conditions, we may have to use fescue, we may have to use clovers, we may have to use, we may even need to fertilize with chicken litter, which is actually one of the best organic producing supplements that we can put on the land in order to give it some organic matter, because that is the limiting factor. But we have found, because we really don't have any organic matter, we have no topsoil left on these sites. There's native grasses, as much as we would like to put them back into production, native grasses do not do well on these sites. So we go back in there with the introduced species such as Bermuda grass, fescue, clovers, and such as that, and then fertilize to produce that.